Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakat. Welcome to another lesson. This is this is the exercises for lesson number 23. We've already read the passage and now we are going to look at some of the concepts in exercise. Marine, which is exercise. Ajib anas ila alati. So let's answer the following question. Kam madrasa jadida ja. So these questions, remember, we have to check the answers. How many is in, you have to check in how many schools the woman, as you can see, if you go back into the passage, so you see how many students, the new students that came, and you can actually see here, رأيت المدرسين جديد, okay. But how many جاء المدرسون جديد؟ نعم. So you have to go back to the passage. So on this one, I will leave you to answer these questions because they are very easy because we have already explained the passage. Let's look at number 2. اقرأ المثال الآتية لجمع مذكر سالم. Let's have a quick look at what's happening here. You have to read. I understand you can read المدرسون في الفصول. Here we are looking at, what are we looking at? Jamu Mudhakar Salim. Jamu Mudhakar Salim, in this case, is this way. Al-Mudarisu, this waw jamwa and nun fa. So we're saying this is plural of Mudaris. Mudarisun, Mudarisun. Al-Mudarisu, Al-Mudarisun. So that's what we are calling Jamu Mudhakar Salim. It's Jamu, it's plural, and it is masculine, and it is sound. This we call it sound masculine plural. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're just going to read all this so that we familiarize with this concept of Jamu Mudhakar Salim. أين المهندسون؟ المهندسون here. هؤلاء الطلاب مجتهدون. You can see they are all plurals. أين الأحمد وعباس وياسر؟ هم قائبون منذ أسبوع. So you can see قائبون. So it's جمع مذكر سالم. So you can read the rest. يبعد المسلمون له. يعبد المسلمون الله. So the Muslims worship Allah. هؤلاء الطلاب هنود وأولئك باكستانيين. Okay, those students are from India, or they are Indians, or they're from India, and those students, okay, from Pakistan. Okay. Now number 3 says أجمع أسماء الآتية جمع مذكر سالم. So because you now understand what is Jamu Mudhakar Salim, where you turn a mufrad into plural, Mudarisu, Mudarisuna, Muhandisun, Muhandisun. It's very easy. I know you can complete this, and it's very easy. Ikra Mimaya. So I leave you to complete these ones so that you get some exercise. Ikra Mimaya. Let's read the following. 20 طالبا, or you can say 20 طالبة. You see here? What is, how many this? Is 20. 30 طالبا, طالبات. So you can say 30. So this 20, 30, 40 طالبا. That's 40 طالبة. 50 طالبا. 60 طالبا. 70 طالبا. 80 طالبا. 90 طالبا. As you can see in this is the numbers. You remember we learned about numbers and how they are. Um, they are also Jammu Mudhakkar Salim. So you need to be able to do that. Let's we call this al-uqud, which means they are decades, or we can say 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 100. So you can read as well so that you familiarize with al-uqud, which is um, the decade. Amanin mimaya. Let's study the following. Al-marfu, al-mansub, al-majrur. We are familiar with this al-marfu'un. When a word ends with a dhamma, we call it marfu. We are also familiar with mansubun when a word ends with a fatha. We know that it is mansubun, and majrurun when a word ends with a kasr. In this case, not verb. We know that it is majrurun. So we know the conditions that makes it majrurun. Let's try to read and understand here. دخل المدرس. So دخل is this is a جملة فعلية. دخل is a فعل ماضي مبني على فتح. So المدرس is this case is فاعل in فاعل ظاهرة is the visible فاعل يدل على هو المدرس. Okay. So if you check on how mudaris ends with a dhamma, and we call this dhamma, it is marfu'un with dhamma dhahir. So you can visibly see a dhamma here. Let's look at some of the examples. So you can actually read all the marfu'un. Dakhala mudarisun. So it means marfu'un. You can also see marfu'un with wow. Wow can substitute a dhamma. You can tell this word is marfu'un. Be wow. When you see wow in this, we say jamu mudhakkar salim, and you see a wow, and do you know this word is marfu'un? So marfu'un bi dhamma, marfu'un bil wow. Okay. Dakhala ishrun taliban. And you can tell this one is marfu'un. Let's also look at mansub, al-mansub, which is in this case is accusative case. Okay. Sa'altu mudarisa. Okay, I asked the teacher. So here in this case, al-mudarisa is no longer marfu'un, it's now mansubun. Why? Because in this jumla fi'aliyah, it is coming as an object. Maf'ulun bih, and always maf'ulun bihi are mansubun bil fath. Let's look here. Sa'altul mudarisina. Now, in this case, mudarisina is also mansubun. And this mansubun bil ya, it is also bil ya. When you see here the word with ya, it must be a reason for that. If it is Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. Because remember, Jamu Mudhakkar Salim, we're supposed to see Al-Mudarisuna, but now it's Mudarisina because it's now Mansubun. So we change the waw into ya and put kasra on sin and retain nun fat. Sa'altu ishrina taliban. Look at this, how it is. Ishrina. Remember we were counting just now. We say ishruna, arbauna. But now here sa'altu ishrina taliban. Ishrina, in this case, biliya, it is mansubun. So this change of changing wow into yeah is this sign is now telling us this word is in mansubun case. Okay, let's look at al-majrur. قلت للمدرس. So look at this jumla fi'liya. للمدرس, here you can see a kasra here. It means this ism is in majrurun form, a kasra. So it's very straightforward because we know harf jar lam here is good effect to mudaris, which is changing from dhamma into kasra. قلت للمدرسين. Look at the change as well. This is lam jar or lam effect of harf jar. It's a harf jar lam. So it actually changes the waw that was here mudarisuna into ya. So when a word is in a jamu mudhakkar salim is in majrurun form, we see it by a ya. Lil mudarisina ila al muhandisina and so forth. So you need to understand that. Kultu lil لعشرين طالبا. In this case, the majrurun and the effect is lam jar, and we see here ishrina, the change of waw into ya. So all jamu mudhakkar salim, they change from marfu'un bil waw. If they go to mansubun, it is biya. If they go to majrurun, it's biya. So when marfu'un bil waw, when it is jamu mudhakkar salim. Okay. أكمل الجمل الآتية بوضح الكلمات التي بين قوسين في مكان الأماكن الخالي. So we are going to see to complete the sentence is using the words between the brackets. Al-Qawsain is the brackets. Al-Qawsain, Baina al-Qawsain. So it's the brackets. Let's look at the example مثال. سألت المدرسين. Remember why مدرسين? Because مدرسين is mansubun. Why mansubun? Because it is maf'ulun bih. And here it is jamu mudhakkar salim. So because it is jamu mudhakkar salim, it is mansubun, and we change mudarisuna to mudarisina. So must be very easy because we said if it is marfu'un, it is bil waw, mudarisuna. It is jamu mudhakkar salim. When it is mansubun, we say it's mudarisina. When it is jamu mudhakkar salim majrurun, we say mudarisina. Okay, let's look at it. This one, يحب المدرس طلاب. So the teacher um, يحب المدرس الطلاب dash. We remember we're going to use here المجتهدون. What should we say? الطلاب. So you need to understand the concept, the context of the word. يحب, what is يحب المدرس الطلاب مجتهدين, because الطلاب in this case الطلاب is مفعول به because this is a جملة فعلية. This is فاعل مدرس and الطلاب is مفعول به, and this one is a not to manut طلاب. And you remember a not always follows a manut, thing that is being described. This is one way what we are saying manut, and not in this case is al-mujtahideen because it is now mansubun. Well, this tulab is mansubun, so definitely this one is mansubun. Let's look at ra'aytu dish. ثلاثون or ثلاثين. ثلاثين طالبا. Why ثلاثين? Because ثلاثين is coming as مفعول به. So it is to change ثلاثين. I will leave you to complete the three so that you get some exercise. It's very easy and very easy lesson. Inshallah, alhamdulillah. I hope you understand. تعمل مثال ثم أضف الكلمات الآتية إلى الكلمات التي بين قوسين. So we still looking again at let's look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that one. Okay. We are looking at this is number 6. Okay. We are going to study this one. Right. أبناء المدارس. Why أبناء المدارس? This is مضاف إليه. أبناء this is مرفوع مضاف وهو مضاف and المدارس. So these are students or these are أبناء. So this is plural and مفرد. أبناء المدارس أبناء المدرسين. This is جمع. This is مفرد and this is جمع مذكر سالم. Remember مضاف إليه. It takes the concept of مجرور. مضاف إليه is مجرور actually. So that's why we now have مدرسين because مدرسين it's مجرور. So we want to also replicate this with this one. بيوت المهندسون ومهندسين يسمون المهندسين because المهندسين is now مضاف إليه to بيوت. The engineer's houses. So it must change this واو into yeah because it is مجرور مضاف ومضاف إليه. Okay. So I want you to go through all this. سيارات المدرسين because it is مضاف ومضاف إليه. So the concept here is very easy and clear. مضاف ومضاف إليه. مضاف is مرفوع and مضاف إليه is مجرور. Okay. Let's have a look at عمل مثال. So we're going to study these examples. ثم أكمل الجمل الآتية بضع كلمات التي بين قوسين في فراغات. So we are going to study this and see what is it, and we also attempt to answer the following questions. قلت للمدرس. Remember لجاء لم لجاء. So I spoke to قلت I spoke للمدرس with the teacher or قلت للمدرسين. So this is مفرد and this is مذكر جمع مذكر سالم. Because lam, this is lam al-jar is if affecting al-mudarisuna into al-mudarisina. It's very easy as we said before. أبهت أن and because it's harf jar and it affects al-mudarisuna into mudarisina al-mudarisina because it becomes majrurun effect and harf jar. اشتريت هذا الكتاب بخمسون خمسين. The moment you put harf jar becomes خمسين because this ya is ya that tells us the word is now in majrur if it is jamu mudhakkar salim. Okay, hope you understand this. I want you to use to 10 these 3 remaining so that you get a feel of it. اقرأ مما يلي. Let's read the following. ثم اكتبه ما I would write it in your book. الأعداد وردت فيها بحروف. So we are going to, this is a very simple exercise, and remember it's an uqud, which is these are decades. These are decade numbers, so they must not be difficult. Indi, what is this number? This is, yes, it is hamsuna. So what do you say? Inti hamsuna. Yes, inti hamsuna. Because this is mubtada. So there's no effect here. It's inti hamsuna riyalan, because there's nothing that is affecting hamsuna to change to from marfu'un into any other. So it's hamsuna riyalan. Ra'aytu. But now look at this. Ra'aytu, it has changed hamsuna. You see, Ra'aytu hamsina taliban, because hamsina is now maflun bih, because this is a jumla fi'liya, and jumla fi'liya and the maflun bihi in this case. So is the fa'ilun? Fa'ilun is ta. Ta referring to ana. So you can say hamsina fi qa. Okay. So it's very easy. What is qa? Qa is a hall. So I saw 50 students in the hall. Okay. اشتريت هذا المعجم. I bought this dictionary. B hamsina. The moment you see B, it's hamsina because it is majrurun. So be hamsina dalalan. So it's very easy. I want you to complete all other um, sentences. It's very easy. So we won't go much on this one. Ikra maya. Ikda ishrun. طالب. اثنتا عشرون طالب طالبة. 23 طالبة. أربع وعشرون طالبة. 25 طالبة. 26 طالبة. 27 طالبة. 28 طالبة. 29 طالبة. 30 طالبا. So you can you still remember إحدى وإثنتا, these are feminine. So it's very easy when it is feminine. Number 21 and number 22, they take the same, they all become feminine. All become feminine. Itnata is feminine. So here, talibatan is feminine. Ihda is feminine. Talibatan is feminine. But remember, ishruna doesn't change, whether it's mudhakari or mu'annath. But look here, it's talatun. Talatun. Look, it's talatun, not talatu, not talata, but talatun. Tun is tanwin. So talatun, it's mudhakkar here, and taliban, talibatan is mu'annath. So they go opposite. These ones, they are opposite. But ishruna, it doesn't matter if it is mudhakkar or mu'annath, it still remains ishruna. But this one, when it is become 23 to 29, you have to check the opposite. Talatuna wa talibatan. This is mudhakkar, this is mu'annath, and this is mudhakkar. So I want you to read all these ones so that you familiarize with the numbers. اقرأ مما يلي ثم اكتبهما في كتاب عدد فيه حروف. Okay. So now because you've studied the numbers above, I want you to take your time here to complete this sentence, read and replace the numbers that are written. This is very easy exercise because the numbers, if you are stuck somehow, you just refer back to the numbers here up there, the answers are here. But I want you to try, give it a try so that you become familiar with numbers and see. This is in just know this is mu'annath, this is mu'annath, this is mu'annath, this is mu'annath, this is mudhakkar, this is mu'annath, this is mu'annath, and it's very easy. That's how you complete these exercise. Okay. All right. تعمل مما يلي. Let's look at the following. Let's we finish this exercise. لا أكلت ولا شربت. لا أكلت ولا شربت. ولا أكلت ولا شربت. So remember, use of لا نهي ولا نفي. We did لا نهي لا نفي. Still remember, this is لا نفي because لا نفي we said لا نفي doesn't change anything if it comes into before a verb. So we still mean لا أكلت, I didn't eat. لا شربت, it doesn't affect anything. So it retains its state. ذلك طالب لا حفظ دارس ولا كتب واجب. So you can see لا حفظ, um, no changes happening here. لا ضربني ولا ضربته. لا ضربني ولا لا ضربته. So when you see لا affecting a verb, or say it becomes a sukun at the end, it means that that lam is lamna here. It's a forbidding lam. It's instructing someone to not to do something. But if it's not affecting anything, it is la nafiya. So there's the difference between la nafiya and la nahiya. La nahiya, it's a prohibiting, it changes the verb itself into a sukun majzumun. And la nahiya, la nafiya, it doesn't affect anything. لا راني ولا رأيته. إذا دخلت لا على الفعل الماضي وجبت تقرورها. وجب تقرورها. So as I explained, it doesn't have an effect with its ending. الكلمات الجديدة. Still, if you have no dictionary, let me just quickly give you before we conclude this lesson. What are some of these, the meanings? اجتماع and اجتماع, gathering. ثانية, ثواني, the second or time when you refer to time. نجح, ينجح, to pass, which is the opposite is rasaba, to fail. يرسب, to fail. أسرة, أسر, أسر, it's a family. You remember? كيف أسرتك? قصة, قصاص, قصص, the story. نبي, نبيون, أنبياء. So you can have this as a plural or this as a plural for prophet. جائز وجوائز. This is reward, this is reward, these are rewards. كآت, this is the jamu, this is a whole. So this is the lesson, and I hope you understood the jamu mudhakkar salim. I want you to go through, we will meet this jamu mudhakkar salim in many other lessons because it's very common to have this in our everyday speech. In next lesson, we will be looking at numbers. We are going to do a revision of numbers from 1 up to thousands. There. So we are going to do detailed revision of numbers and see how we can understand numbers in the next lesson. So in next lesson, let's come and have a quick look and a revision and learn new things in numbers. Jazakallahu khairan. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.